Hi there, welcome to day 2, December the 2nd, Christmas Advent unpacking, opening. So here we go. So I never showed you what was on front of it. Keep on smiling, and thank you to everybody that supported me. I've been doing Christmas Advents now for about 4 years. So yeah, and this year was the introduction of the 4 Advents to Sunday, which I can't show you until Christmas weekend sort of place, because there's people that have obviously received them and I'm doing one as a giveaway, so I can't show anybody what they look like. So it's a bit frustrating. I was going to keep one to myself, but I've decided obviously to give it away. So yeah, so you'll get the pictures for those at the end of the month, so don't worry, you will get to see what I end up making. So yeah, today is day 2, Christmas Advent. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I know you all know me from my spinning, so let's see if I can find day 2, day 6. It's got to be at the top somewhere. Day 2. There we go. So I've put you on a long screen because we're going to make something. I've just made one of these. Now, I'm not really known for my felting. I do dabble now and again. I've got some really nice things around the house that I've made and gifted out to people. So here we go. Now, you'll find inside your 24 days of Advent, there was a pack of locks with some balloons in it. It's like, Joe, why are you giving me balloons? There is a reason, and it's something I'm going to do for the Christmas Day Advent, okay? So bear with me, because it's 100 grams. I thought, I need to do something really big instead of just doing yarn. We're going to attempt to make a wet felted bowl or a basket with the balloon. So that's what I've got planned. So yeah, so hold on to your balloons, don't lose them. Don't let the kids have them neither, they're yours. You've got 2 of them. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm using a Corridale Slither. I had these for needle felting packs, but they're still sat on the website. So I thought I'll use some of this up just so it looks a little bit different instead of the normal old core wool sort of look. So it's like an oatmeal. I want to do something a little bit different, and I've used some remnants of an art bat for the top, and then some textured ribbons I've just wrapped around the top. So just a little bit of fun. I don't take it seriously, neither should you really at the end of the day, but they're really sweet. I have around the house. I do have a couple. I do have one on my Christmas tree that I made a couple of Christmases ago for an Advent. Is it going to come off? That one. So that one was made a little bit differently. This one was made where you did a triangle of felt. Now, I can't find any of my felting pads, which is mental. I've got loads around this house and I can't find any. I even make them to sell on the website, but I can't find one for myself, so I've had to improvise. This should really be, what you would do is you would lay out your fibre in such a way that it would be a large triangular shape, okay, and then you conical it. So you felt it, you stab it all up, you end up with this really lovely triangle, and then you wrap it around the top of the elf's head, okay, and then you needle felt it all the way up. So yeah, but I can't find any of my stab it rabbits. I can't find my felting pad. I might just pop off in a minute because I do need to take a picture of this day number 2 and see if I can find a felt pad, and then I can do the actual proper version of it. But she's got all the little locks and everything. Look, she's got tinsel in her beard and her little elfie ears. This was a little bit different. This was Joe improvising without a felting mat and trying not to stab her own fingers. Okay, so day 2 Christmas Advent is let's see if I can get into this. Ooh, it's a roving today, ladies. It's a little braid, a little twist up roving in olive and purple, and it's a Merino Bamboo, which is obviously not perfect for felting, right? Because bamboo does not felt on its own. But she says, when you're felting with it, I always find that, yeah, okay, it won't felt on its own, but the wool felts. So because the wool actually felts, then you're going to easily be able to trap those fibres in there. That's why I really fret when I got a felter that orders something for me, because the bamboo in my art bats is so well blended in there that it shouldn't really cause any problems, because the fibres from the wool will trap it in there. Okay, so there we go. We have got this violet purple and this olive green. It should just open. I did steam set all these before they were all wrapped up, so they should open up really quite easily. And then if I've got any left over of this, I'll spin it up and I'll put it to my little collection. Okay, so there we go. We have got olive and purple on a bamboo merino. So I'm just going to take a picture of this. I'll be back in a minute. And fingers crossed, I might actually find my heat paddle work. I'll see if I can find that and I'll see you in a minute. Right, so Joe being Joe, always looking for a way to fix a problem. I have these foam mats that I put on the floor because I do suffer now and again from plantar fasciitis, and I get really bad backache from my fibro. So I have these all over the floor, but because I've recently been doing stuff around in here, these are out in the hallway. So because I can't find either A, my ironing heat mat, and B, my Stab It Rabbit, I'm going to use one of these, which means I can do my conical shaped hat, which is perfect. Okay, so what you want to do is get yourself some core wool or some slithering. Okay, and you just want to start off with a little, twist it around your fingers, and then get your felting needle and just give it a bit of a stab. Okay, you want to do this just to start fixing the fibers together so they don't start to fall apart as you start to wrap. And what you're doing is using this to help create a base, okay, for your body. I'm going to keep wrapping that around. I'm going to keep wrapping it around and keep wrapping it around until I've got that. And I'm just going to seal that in there. Okay, now I'm going to start working in at the bottom, and I'm actually going to use my larger one. And just help ever so gently. Don't need to do it a lot, but enough just to fit it in place. You don't need, this is going to be quite squishy more than it's going to be a solid. Okay, and these have got a mixed gauge on these. I've got some fine and some coarse. Oh, if you don't have any felting needles at home, I do actually have some. I always forget to stick them on the website every so often. It's because I usually stick them in my felting packs for a group that I do discount codes for felting. I always forget to put them in. So I'm just going to wrap this around. So I'm going to push that out a little bit so I can start making this little pointy bit. And now I'm going to start working my fibres around. I'm going to fill that up in a minute in the middle. But I need to now start building up my fibre. So he starts to create this conical shape that you're looking for. And I'm just going to keep rolling it and rolling it around. I'm going to have to go and get some more slither in a minute. And keep rolling it around, attaching it up. Find that in there. Make sure it's all joined in. This is the bottom piece. He's not going to be too big, but once you get your conical hat on him, he'll start to bulk out. So I'm just going to give it a bit more stabbing, compact him in a little bit more now. And we'll work the other way around in that way, so the fibres start to sit inside and felt together. Okay, so we've got that sort of shape at the moment. So I'm just going to go and grab some muslin though. I'm not really bothered that it's going to be a different colour because this is going to be hidden more or less by the hat anyway. And I may actually wrap around another layer just to firm it up in a second, bulk it out, so at least that way I've got some fibre to start compressing into it and getting a little bit firmer. So at the end of the day, this is just your core, and I think I will actually start, I'm going to start from the middle because I've already pushed up some of that noggin in the middle of there, and I'm just going to use my single needle and bulk him out. Start building that up in the middle. Right, quite happy with that. And now I'm going to start wrapping it around, spread it out a little bit so I can start covering up that fawny colour that's underneath. And you just keep stabbing it until you've got a nice firm section down the bottom, and then we'll start to shape it more as I go around with this. And just flatten it out. A bit more. I'm trying to cover over, so I've got like the oatmeal colour under there, so I'm just trying to make sure that it covers over. So I'm going to start really putting into this in a minute and start firming up and shaping the mass I've got. Now, if you don't have a lot of core wool, if you just start it off in the middle and then just use a roving and just build up the layers as you go around with your roving, very similar to me using this, and you can do it that way. You don't have to have, I have made them before without actually using a slither of wool or core wool. And you literally just twist it around your fingers, the roving. I'm just going to try and tighten this off at to help create a shape now to get me going. So I'm just may need to get some more wool in a minute and just build that up. What's happened here? He's come out of himself. Get that off there. And I'm going to try and squeeze this top bit, and I'm going to wrap that around. Right, now I'm going to start to shape it. I want it to have a fat bottom and a pointed, nearly pointed top. So by doing this, I'm going to start to firm up the wool inside my gnome. So you want it, you can see the beginnings of it, but once I start to shape it with my needles in a minute, it'll start to look more solid and a bit more structure to it. So I'm going to get on with that, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, so there's my conical shape. It's not perfect, but remember his hat's going to go on in a minute, okay? And then at the bottom of it, just get your needle and firm it off so it's all nice and flat, okay? It's not perfect, but remember, it's going to be covered up by locks, a nose, some feet, okay, and a hat. So don't worry too much about being perfect. Remember, you're just having a bit of fun. Right, so there he is there. Well, his body. Now I'm gonna get my roving and I'm gonna split it in half so I've got less fibre to work with. Okay, so this I'm now gonna make the conical shape, and I'm gonna go about half and half. So I'm gonna layer that down there. And you might, it's a bit long, Joe. Yes, it is a bit long, but I'm not worrying about that. I want it to be, I need it to create a bit of length so that I can design and shape the hat, okay? So, and then once you actually needle felt in it, the fibres are tucking, so it will shrink as well. So I've got one lengthways, and I'm going to put these ones over the top. I'm just trying to stretch it out so I've got a bit more width to it. And I'm going to layer that on top of there, and then layer this piece on top of here, okay? And I might actually, I want to now figure out if I've got enough width on it. So round and round. I think what I need to do is get the other roving, because at the end of the day I can always trim it down if it's too long. I'm going to get the other roving and I'm going to try and layer it so that this purple sits in line from the dye pot where the same colours. I'm just going to overlayer that just ever so slightly, flick those back over, stretch them out, and then I'm going to use my larger one and start to felt them together. Right, so I just want them to start just addressing, because I'm going to fold this over in a minute. Right, so take that out of the way. Now I'm going to bring this over the top. I'm just going to pull these fibres out a little bit more, make sure that these are crossed over, okay? And it will take a bit of time, but you want to try and get this as flat and as felted as possible. So I'm going to get on with this, and then you'll eventually, when I get to the next stage, I will show you what to do. So you should be getting to a point where you feel like your wools are starting to mat together, okay? So as you're doing this, you probably noticed me starting to try and create a peak, okay? So I'm nearly there. You guys have got more time at home, but I'm quite happy the way it is at the moment. It's a bit thick, but it's flumpy. I like it, and I think I'm just about done. So what I'm going to do now is figure out where the back of my gnome is, and I think I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to turn that around that way. Now you want to keep about this much of the body free of the hat, so round about there, so you've got something to actually work into, and you're going to wrap this around and you're going to just felt it into place, okay, like that. And then you're going to bring your other side over and you're going to felt that into place. Okay. And you're going to start working your way around here just to seal the hat into place. Make sure it's lined up nicely. Work up inside the body. And keep going. Now you could use a piece of wet felted wool and then cut that into shape as a conical so you can wrap it around quite happily if you want to do that. If you had some spare wet felted projects that you weren't sure, or have remnants of it and you didn't need it all but it's been sat there waiting to be used. So I'm just keeping going, and now I'm going to start shaping the hat around into that conical area of the body. And I'm just using a little single one because I find the single ones easier to control what I want everything to be. And I'm just working in this little in-shop section from where we've just sealed it all together. Okay, there we go. And don't worry about the holes. If you've never felted before and you see all these little jagged holes all over the place, don't worry about them, they all disappear. That's not a problem at all. They do disappear. And when you're doing this, you're actually firming up the top part of that conical cone that you gently felted just to get going. If you over felt it, then this bit will end up being really, really tough. Okay, so we've ended up with something like that. So I'm going to now just twist this over again. And I'm starting to point downwards because I know I'm coming to the tip of the conical that I made. And there will be a point that you'll just be felting into the wool itself. Okay, we're getting there. I want to make this a little bit skinnier, so pull it over so you end up with this pointed shape. And at this point you'll start to see which way the hat wants to form as well, whether it wants to be upright or if it feels like it wants to be folded over with creases in, like my little blue one. So I'm just pulling these little wisps around. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like I'm going into my mat underneath and not so much the wool anymore. Okay, so I'm going to start, see, there we go. You see that? So I'm just going to get my larger one and I'm going to start really getting some stability in this little hat with my four needles on there. Okay, so now I'm going to start actually shaping how I want my hat to look. So I'm going to do some little bends in mine. So I want it to go, so I want it to point this way and then I'm going to bend it back that way. So I'm just putting a lot of needle marks into this section of the hat to help force a bend. And then I'm going to get my needle, I'm going to bend this down a little bit. Okay, and I can use that to help the fibres inside make sure it bends. And I'm going to just, it's quite a fat gnome, gunk. He's a jolly little thing. He doesn't mind his cake. Okay. So I want a bit of a crease in here as well. So I'm just going to manipulate the fibres so I can have a crease there. Okay. So we've got a crease there and we've got a crease in there. So can you see? Okay, so I need to just get this looking a little bit more solid. And I'm just going to keep twisting my the top of my hat around. So I get this swirling effect in the top of his hat. I'm just going to keep stabbing it. And I'm going to do that again. I'm coming down from the top when I'm doing this because I want to create some indentations. Make it look like his hat's all squashed. He's a little bit of a scruffy bag. Tidy this up. Define that a little bit more. You'll see what you mean when you do it yourself. So there we go. That'll do for now. And I quite like that his little hat at the top's a bit wispy. So the next bit you want to do is get your core wool again and decide which part of it is his face. So I think I'm going to go that way in here. So you want to get a little bit of your core wool, okay, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, and you want to stretch it out, fold it over again, okay, so you've got like a sausage, and then fold it over that way, okay. Now wherever his nose is going to be, you're going to go straight up to the line of his hat, and you're going to come in from underneath, and you're just going to stab that into place. Okay, and then you're going to shape the inside of his nose, tuck those ends in, okay, and then tuck that side in, coming back in at the top, just define that a little bit more. Okay, you've got a bit of a button nose going on. You can give it a little bit of an indentation in there, but it doesn't really matter because you will actually, you won't really see that. See? You won't really see that when your locks are on. Then you want to get another inch or so length, open it up, fold it over, fold it over, and I'm going to leave it like that. And all I want to do now is make some little ears. See if my fatter one's better to do that with. I'm just going to make myself some little pointed ears. I know a lot of you will be like, oh Jo, your fingers, woman, your fingers. Yeah. I'll soon know when it happens. Right, so I've left with a little square, okay? And now I'm just going to ever so slightly pinch it. It's above the corners, pinch that. And I'm not going to put his ears down here, I'm going to put them in his hat. So roughly just at the side, and I'm going to now, with my needle, my single needle, I'm just going to pin it into place, tuck in this little fluff at the side here. And you can, if you want them pinned back a little bit more, just put your needle in at the back, and that will help move the ears to whatever angle you want them at. And just put a bit more define in there. There we go. One little ear. So I'm going to do that again. So I get my little bit of slithering. Fold it over, and then get my larger one with lots of needles on. Flip it over and do the same on the other side. I'm not bothered about it being too compacted. I like a little bit of fluff about it. So now you have to figure out exactly where the side is that you need it on your ear. So I'm going to go with about there. A single needle now, and get that pinned in. Okay, there's my needle there. I'm just going to tuck in some of his, and come in from the back and bring his ear back so he's the same, nearly the same. Your ears aren't the same anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I doubt very much that a gunk has equal proportion to his ears. Okay, just give that a bit more felting. They're not perfect, but they'll do. Now you can choose to put feet on or not to put feet on, but I'm going to put some feet on and show you how to do it. So again, another length there. You need two of them, but the same size, and you're going to do the exact same thing as what you did with the nose. You're going to open it up, fold it over again, and then fold it back on itself. Okay, and then you're going to place it one on the opposite side, so the inside of his foot is on the other side of his nose, and you're going to put it in just a slight jaunty angle, and then you're going to get your needle, your single one again, and you're going to come in and secure that in place to the base of your gnome. Okay, so you end up with this little foot. So you just need to tidy it up a little bit, and then felt it in there. Sorry, I keep looking at it close up. I do apologise. I'm here. I am here. Honestly, people. Right. And just felt that into place there. Just a bit like what I was working when he was doing his nose. And again, shape his foot. You can use a black wool if you wanted to, so we can have little black shoes or coloured shoes. It doesn't really matter. And then make sure it goes right in. Go back in and finish his nose off so it's a bit more defined as well if you want to. Okay, do my other foot. and then I'm putting the locks on. The locks are dead easy to do, people, okay? It's just a little bit of a technique in layering, you'll be off. So I just want to figure out where my nose is there, turn my foot around that I've just folded over again and put it in place, and then stab it like it's the tax man. Okay, I want to twist that round a little bit so it's a bit more jaunty angle and not straight on. Oh, I'll come back again, Joe. There we go. Just put a couple of needle bits in the bottom there, and I'm just going to make sure that he is completely flat underneath. Okay, so there we go so far. This little grouchy gunk. Right, so he will stand. See? There we go, he's standing. Now I'm going to get my locks. I have got a mix of locks here. I have some shorter ones which are Wensleydale cuts, and I have got some longer ones here. Now if you've got some really long ones, all you want to do, I'm going to work round from the back. Am I going to do the back? No, on a second, I'll split these and I'll do a mix. Right, go away. So with your long ones or your short ones, you're doing the exact same method. You want to put over the back like that, okay? Then you get your needle, and where your hat line is, you felt these into place, okay? You felt that into place, and then you get another, just a little small clump. You don't need a massive bit, and you're going to flip that back that direction, and you're just going to come halfway down the bottom of his bottom. You don't need a lot, and then fold that over and fold that over, and then you have got his hair is secure, and then you just keep repeating that. So I've got some shorter ones here, some shorter curls. I'm just going to open them up a little bit, and I'm going to come in from behind up to where the hairline is, where the hat joins the body. That's as far as I'm going, and then I'm going to flip him down again, okay? But I'm going to add a little bit of fibres underneath just so I can make it a little bit bulkier, and I'm going to bring that down here, near about a centimetre away from its bottom, from the base, and fold that over and fold that over, and then I'm going to come in and just put a couple of stabs in so that his hair stays in place and it doesn't flop around everywhere, okay? His hair's a bit mess, but you're getting the gist of what it is that you need to do to get the wool to stay in place. So I'm going to put this one over here up near his, his face. So underneath his nose, okay, so underneath his nose, and I'll fold that back there, and then I'll stab those into place just underneath the nose. You don't need any more, and just curve that around, get them in there, and then flip that over, and they're stuck into place. You don't need to do it a lot, honestly. Let's go for a bit of green, and I want some of these, because I've got green on that side, and I'm just going to quickly fold that over, felt them into place, and then just felt that into place. Bit of green, a bit more definition. I've got any over here with a bit more curl. This one will do. So face it upwards towards my hat and felt my wool locks at the hat line. And when you get around the nose, okay, get around the nose, just tuck that in so you still see the nose. Ooh. You can bunch it up a little bit. If you're seeing gaps underneath the hat, just stab your locks back up into place so you don't see any gaps of the body underneath. Now I've got one more large section to do. I've got a bit of purple left over, so I'm going to keep that one. It's not a lot, but I want this. So there's remnants of the olive on top of the green I'm about to put on. Here we go, this one will do. Where's his little feet? There's his feet there. Okay, and I think, see if I can find any more purple locks. There we go, purple. I'll add a little bit of pink in there, just because I can. I'm going to fold those over that way. Down the side of his nose, up at the hairline. And tuck that in there. Oh, right. Well, he's still got a little bit of belly showing, so I'll take some of that and take some of that. Ends. You want your ends underneath, so your curly bits are on the top, and I've just seen where is his belly. There it is. So I'm just going to put that in here, bring that down a bit more, and just pop that in there. Fold that over, and a little bit of this one on the other side of his nose, and that should be him. Sorry folks, I didn't mean this video to take so long today. It was just spur of the moment. I thought, oh, do you know what, I'll make a gonk today. I'll do some gonks in my video. Right, show his little feet off. So you can see his nose, there's his little ears, he's a little bit of a rainbow. He hasn't got an idea what's going on in the world as long as he gets fed. That's all he cares about. So there you go, one felted gnome using art bats and some core wool, little ears. So there you go, there's my little gonk. See how his head twists around? Nice and fluffy, it's not too firm, but you get the gist. It's just a bit of mess around. It's scraps that you might not know what to do with it. You might have stuff sat in your stash box at home. There you go. And the locks that you got in your Christmas advent as well should be enough to keep you going. To do a little lock, you can put some ribbons around the tops of them, like that. If you've got any threads or anything lying around, you can use blue face Leicester locks. You can use, this was made with just merino roving, and the little body just from some core wool from some fleece, and this was a bat as well. So there you go. So just remember, when you're doing that triangle section, you don't need your fibres to be too thick, okay? But yeah, there we go. So Joe's Gonk collection, it's getting bigger. Every Christmas I do another one. I've got Healthy Safety Dave downstairs, and I like that one. That one's a really sweet one. Little gonk. Right, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. Ever so long video today. I do apologise. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. This afternoon's the announcement of my giveaway today, so maybe you'll join me over there at 12:30 today. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow, the 3rd of December. Take care of yourselves, be good, keep cosy. 60% chance of rain and sleet for us over here in Cumbria today. Fat chance. It's more chance of Phil making a pot of soup for tea. See you later. Bye.